Hello there everyone. We are at Goregaon Sports Complex for the episode 2 of Sports and the City and we are covering badminton. So come on. In a city whose legacy has long been tied to celluloid and cricket, a growing group of badminton players are quietly but determinedly claiming their space. Badminton, a sport that has gained recognition as a globally recognized discipline, is also a sport that's very close to my heart. Many watching may already know I began my journey into the sporting arena as a professional badminton player. But how many of us also know that India has had a crucial role to play in the evolution of badminton from a pastime racket sport to an Olympic event? Let's go back to Pune in the 1860s. British Army officers stationed in India started playing a local sport they had discovered. They made some changes, like adding a net, and called it Pune, after the town where their camp was based. The game travelled back then to England with them and caught the attention of the Duke of Beaufort. In 1873, the Duke introduced the game to his guests as the game of badminton. He chose to name it for his estate, which was called Badminton House in Gloucestershire. From there was no looking back. Badminton became a popular game at English clubs, even as it continued to gain ground in India, where the Badminton Association of India was established in 1899. Today, this remains one of the oldest badminton governing bodies in the world. Well, India soon became a force to be reckoned within the Olympics, with Dibankar Bhattacharya and U. Vimal Kumar being the first males to represent the country at the Barcelona Olympic Games in 1992. Since then, India has produced several shuttling legends, including Prakash Padukone, who was the first Indian to reach the top position in the men's world badminton rankings. Then came in Pulela Gopichand, Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu and many more. Today, I am excited to bring you with me to the place where my journey began and where so many of India's future shuttle stars will create their destinies. I am at the Goregaon Sports Club's famous Chirag Shetty Badminton Hall. The hall is named after India's badminton doubles star, who famously trained here under coach Uday Pawar sir, who himself is a former national level badminton player. He has been the national doubles champion 4 times and also won a bronze medal at the 1982 Asian Games. In addition to his achievements, as a player, he is the head coach of UPBA Uday Pawar Badminton Academy. Uday sir has also been my coach and I have learned a lot from him. Firstly, sir, I want to ask you that in a city like Bombay, where good badminton academies lack, but your academy is one of the best in Bombay. What inspired you to start UPBA?
I do felt that when the players are at a young age, they need a lot of proper guidance because not only about how the game is played, but also the basic rules, the service rules, and all that. If the child learns all that at a early age, then their base is very good, and then they can rise much faster than normally you would do on your own. So that proper guidance was important. So the moment I stopped playing badminton, I called up my coach to take his blessings, Mr. Pramanik, and he said, Uday, I'm very happy that you're following in my footsteps, but coaching is a thankless job. You should be ready for a lot of situations where you do a lot for everybody, but you may not get the same response. But irrespective of that, you keep doing the best you can, and that's what I've been doing.
Right.
I've been following Mr. Pramanik's advice. Tried to start the academy about 25 years back to make it more organized so more children can benefit.
Right.
And after our academy started at Andheri Sports Complex, but after we moved to Goregaon about 15 years back, Goregaon Sports Club really, we found the right ideal partner who understands what it takes to be a champion. I would not hesitate to say that Chirag Shetty became what he is, world number one and other things, because we got a lot of help from Goregaon Sports Club, and they were ideal partners in our quest to produce champions.
Right. So since you spoke about Chirag Shetty, he has achieved being world number one in men's doubles, and he's the first. They are the first Indian pair, Satvik and him. And sir, I personally have seen you push doubles as well along with singles. And you know, but in many places, doubles is somewhere sometimes ignored. What
No,
are your stand on that?
actually, when I grew up as a player, I mean, you had to play singles, and though I think I was ranked in the top three in India for about 10 years, I mean, I could never win the national singles title, though I lost 4 national finals, 2 to Prakash and 2 to Syed Modi. I had more success in doubles, won about 4 or 5 titles, and I feel that, like, you know, you need to decide which event to pursue based on how good you are in each event. Sometimes you are good in both, but you know, you have to assess each player differently. And in Chirag's case, he was equally good in singles too. So I had told him at a young age, when he was 16, that you need to specialize now, because you are playing 2 events is draining your energy and diverting it to 2 different events. And you are reaching, you know, in the state level, he was the state champion in 17 and 19. But, you know, at the national level, he was in the top 8. But, you know, to play singles, you need a much higher level of fitness, because one person has to cover the whole court. And I told him, if you want to pursue singles, you can, because you're equally good in both. But then your workload has to increase at least 3 times more. So you need to understand and, you know, decide. So initially he was wondering why I was saying that, because he was already a state champion in 17 and 19 in the same year. There was a little hesitancy, not only with Chirag, but even his father, who looked after his badminton as such. And after a few months, they themselves realized, when, you know, while playing the nationals, you know, he played 3 games in the quarterfinals, a very long match, and that affected his doubles in under 17, which they were top seed, but they lost in the quarters. But luckily, they were good enough to win the under 19 title when they were 16 years old, and they went on to win the junior title for 3 years. But that's when he realized, you know, that my energy is getting diverted to 2 different events, and I'm not doing justice to what I'm good at. So he asked for my opinion, and I told him, do you have a natural aptitude for doubles? The moment he decided to play only doubles, I mean, fortune really favored him. He won the Junior Asian doubles title with M.R. Arjun, which was in itself, they were the first Indians to do that. So that was the decision based on my advice, but eventually when self-realization came that, you know, if I play 2 events, I may not be playing on the final day. It doesn't matter which event, even if you're playing mixed doubles, if you specialize and you do well, you will get the accolades that you deserve.
And I'm also delighted to speak with Anand Pawar. Sir, a distinguished Indian badminton player, he achieved a career high world ranking of 30 in men's singles and has secured multiple international titles. So first I want to ask you, coming from a family which is deeply rooted in badminton along with Uday Pawar Badminton Academy, how has their involvement, influenced your journey, your approach?
I think we are one of the very few families in India where all 3, I think both parents and the child have represented the country in the same sport. So I can say we are quite unique as far as that is concerned. But I would say, to become a professional badminton player, it has been much easier for me, because having parents who have also played at the highest level, you know, they sort of understand what it takes, not just on the court but also off the court, and you know how much pressure is put on the child from parents nowadays. I think, considering all those things, the support that I got from my parents, I mean, I am what I am because of my mom and dad, and also of course my grandparents, you know, who've been there throughout. So coming from a badminton background, I wouldn't say it was very easy, but it was much easier coming from a normal family background. Yeah.
While we're here, let's also chat with these little rising stars. Who knows? We may just speak to a name that will become a shuttling legend tomorrow. What is your name?
My name is Risha.
Okay, and your age?
I'm 21 years old.
Okay, and what level are you playing at?
I'm playing badminton at national and international level.
Wow, okay, and what got you into this unique sport?
I was just like a child who was playing in school, and there was a summer camp which was there, so I just sort of going for that. So that's how I started playing badminton actually.
Okay, and
Yeah.
can you share some of your highlights and challenges that you have come across?
I think in challenges, like I feel like my parents were a very good support to me, and because of them I am what I am. And especially Uday sir, Anand sir, GSC has really helped me since the past 6 months that I'm here about. The challenges I would say are when I'm really low, when I'm losing matches, and my coaches and my parents have always been there for me. They've always motivated me, and they've supported me whenever I need, even in the part of nutrition or fitness. In every field, my parents have always been there for me. My coaches have been there for me. I feel it's very important for people to be there when your child or any person is not feeling too good mentally, especially after losing or even after winning. At times, you need some support to make that person understand.
So, firstly, please tell us your name.
Ketki Theta.
Okay, and what is your age?
I'm 15,
Okay, and what level are you playing at?
national level.
Oh, at the age of 15 national, that is truly impressing. Now tell us what pushed you to get into such a unique sport.
I think it just started off as like a summer camp, and then the passion grew, and then I got into competitive sport after 2-3 years of just playing it for fun.
Okay, and can you share some challenges that you have faced in your journey till now?
I think the thing was that I've lost in first rounds for most of my career. I think I started winning only now, but I think the only thing that kept me going on was my love for the sport and the support of like Uday sir, Anand sir, and then GSC, plus my parents who've been there for every training session, every like nutrition session, and just every gym session, and I think their support just makes me feel happier.
Right. Since you said you used to lose a lot initially, there are many छोटू बच्चाs you can say, और छोटे बच्चे जो discourage होते हैं कि I'm losing, it will not happen. What do you want to tell to those? Because you are playing nationals right now. What do you want to tell those?
I think you're just supposed to stick with it. You just after a point, if you're still losing, then you have to quit the sport. But then till a point, I think that the passion and the fun that you have while playing badminton is the one that keeps you in the game. And for me, my parents used to tell me that just don't focus on winning and losing. Like just play because you love the sport. Because there are some kids who like just love playing normally, but don't like playing tournaments, and that's also fine. You can have sports and academics, and it doesn't have to be your number one thing. It can be with your sport.
Even as India continues to dominate the global stage in badminton, the need for better support for players and coaches, as well as more accessible infrastructure, is undeniable. Quality training facilities are few and far in between. While the financial burden of pursuing the sport can be significant, especially during a player's formative years. As we cheer on the next generation of badminton champs, I also dream of a future where badminton will captivate Mumbai as completely as cricket has.